Hello, what's up? It's been a while since I've done a live stream. Today in this video, I'm going to go over how you should promote your Amazon affiliate site. So I'm actually going to talk about guest posting. If you're in the chat, give me a shout. I am going to jump right into the content so the people that are watching the replay won't have to listen to too much banter. At the end, I'll answer some questions, but do give me a shout in the chat. I can see the window light is really bright here. So I'm going to talk about guest posting, and that's my preferred way to get links for a site because in general, most people will consider that a white hat outreach, and the links you get would be white hat. So thanks. I see a couple people are hopping on, and I'm going to go over a two-step process, pretty straightforward. And then I'm also going to give you 6 different ideas on how you can network, which is actually step 1 of the process. So I'll go over this a little bit more in depth. A couple things before we get started. There's a link in the description where I talk about like this whole process is written out. So you can follow that link over at Niche Site Project, and it is part of the Niche Site process. And if you follow that link, you can see a lot more detail. You can actually download the templates that I use if you want to. Additionally, I have a guest posting service, which at least right now is open. You can go to the link in the description, check out the details. And if you don't want to do the guest posting yourself, I have a service and you can sign up for it. So follow that link if you're interested. So without further ado, we're going to get into the 2-step process for guest posting. And I've done this for myself, clients. I've coached dozens of people on how to do this, and the process works. Now, it's not easy. I'll get right to it fast. It's not easy. It's not necessarily fast or anything like that. But if you follow, find and recreate, that is the power. So step 1 of this process is to network. So network within the niche or something at least closely related. So it doesn't have to be like exactly the same niche. So if you have a site on like journals or something like that, like small notebooks, you don't have to approach other small notebook websites. You can go to sites that are related. So anyone that writes, anyone that has a site about writing utensils, any of those would count. So step 1 is networking. And I'm going to go over 6 different ways that you can network as well. Each of them are very effective. If you do all of them, well, then it's like a shoe-in, right? It makes it much easier. Step 2 of the process after you do the networking is to ask for the guest post. So I'm also making the assumption that if you figure out, if you do this process and you're able to have someone accept your guest post, most likely you'll be able to figure out the other couple steps of the process where either you write it or have someone write it, and then you can move forward and have that published. So the real value here, what I am about to say, the 6 different ways that you can network with someone that you would like to guest post on their site at some point. Thomas, what's up? I see you there in the chat. So you probably have heard me mention a couple of these if you watched a few of the videos. So number 1 is comment on their blog. So number 1, we're making the assumption that they have a blog, right? I mean, you want to guest post on their site, so they obviously have some piece of written content where you can get a backlink. So they have a blog. Most likely, you're going to be able to comment on some of their recent posts. So that said, you'll be able to, find a couple of their recent posts and leave a comment. Don't try and leave a link to your site. You can, put in your domain name. That's fine, but don't try and put a link to one of your posts or anything like that. It probably won't be approved if you do, unless it's super, super highly relevant. So go leave a comment. Now, buried in there, each one of these 6 is going to have a little bit of a caveat. So what you want to do is make sure you're commenting on a blog that has published recently. So I would recommend trying to find blogs that have published something in the last like 30 to 45 days. What you don't want to do, and this is what I did, this is the mistake that I made, is I went and commented on blogs that they didn't publish anything anymore. Like they worked on their site for a couple years and then they stopped, and they have some traffic and some people coming to their site, and they basically hadn't published anything for like years. So I would leave a comment and then it would go into a black hole of the comments that need to be approved, and it would never get approved and it would never go live. So I left a bunch of comments that just went into a black hole and never panned out. It took me a little time to realize that some people blog for a little while and then they stop. And that's what happens. So make sure if you're trying to comment on some blogs, make sure they're actively publishing stuff. And I highly recommend like just going back in the last 30 days. All right. So don't try and comment on stuff that's like super old or anything like that, because it's probably just not going to be approved. So that's number one. Comment on their blog. Number two is to send an email, but don't ask for anything. Just send an email, and you probably want to like give a compliment of some kind or say how a certain piece of content was really relevant for you and you enjoyed it. So the mistake that most people make is they'll send an email and they immediately ask for something. And at some point, that becomes sort of pushy, and people will just delete your email. So nowadays, people will literally just delete your email. They'll probably mark you as spam if you send them an email and just say, hey, I read your blog, mrnichesiteproject.com, and I think I want to post on your site. Can you tell me how I can post on your site? Not a good approach. So, and I think when I first got started, I probably sent a couple of those, but now I realize that those don't work. And even worse, nowadays people send out emails, and there are automated emails that come out, like I just mentioned. And I mean, I get probably I get one email per day at least asking for something. And then I get these follow-up emails, of which I mark all of them as spam, because honestly, I'm getting to be an old grouchy man, and I don't want those emails anymore. So send them an email, but don't ask for anything. That's the whole point. Don't ask for anything. Give a compliment, and the best way, here's the little nugget in here. The best way to send someone an email is to sign up for their email list, get a couple of the emails, and hit reply and reply back to one of their autoresponder emails. That is the best way to get in touch with people. If you do this on my email list, you're probably going to get an email back from me. It may take me a week or two to get back to you, but you're probably going to get an answer back directly from me. You can do this to much bigger bloggers too. So if you go to like Ramit Sethi, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He may not be able to reply back, but he does say that he reads all the emails when you reply back. Additionally, I think Derek Halpern does that. There are a few other people where you literally can reply back to the email and they read it because they want to get like firsthand knowledge of what people are experiencing. Okay. So email, that's number two. Email the blogger. Don't ask for anything. Be cool, be nice. And the best way to get in touch with him or her is to sign up for their email list, reply back to one of the emails, because they'll see the little RE : whatever the subject is, and they'll be much more likely to read your email and much more likely to reply, especially if it's just a compliment, right? Number three is to share their content. So this is pretty straightforward. I would probably try and find the social channel that they're most active on. So you could probably look on their site. You could see the social links. So whether it's like Pinterest or if it's Twitter or Facebook or whatever, fill in the blank, right? Instagram. Find out what it is and share some of their stuff there. Tag them, of course, so they see that you are sharing their stuff. And Further, right, you can engage with them. This is number 4, closely related. You can engage with them on those social channels via comments, right? So if it's Instagram, you can hop in there and comment back. Depending on how many people are commenting, you may get buried in there, but at least they'll probably see it. And if you comment more often, they're likely to recognize your screen name and stuff like that. If it's on Facebook or something like that, it may be really easy for them to see it. So if you share some stuff with them, that'll be awesome. And number 4 is if you can communicate with them on those channels, they will recognize your name and your face and all that stuff. You can also reach out via direct message. If they are very popular on the specific channel, then they may not actually see the message. So I have a friend or two on Instagram that I know from like YouTube and stuff, and they may have, tens of thousands of followers, and I've sent DMs to them and they didn't see them for weeks. And I think they just accidentally found them. And basically they said, I get so many DMs. I'm sorry I didn't get it. Just shoot me an email next time. But nevertheless, try to work that out. And that's 3 and 4. Share their content, send them messages, comment, engage with them. Number 5 is to feature the blogger on your website or somehow in one of your mediums, and then let them know. So this could be like your favorite podcasters. This is just an example, like your 5 favorite podcasters in a specific area, a specific niche, and then you could just feature them, put a little blurb about them, and just send them an email. Say, hey, I really love your stuff. I featured you with these 4 other people. I just wanted to let you know. You could even, of course, everyone wants to be featured. That's why they're doing something in the public eye. So they're, of course, going to want that to happen. But you could even phrase it, send them an email, maybe like right before it goes live or something, and just say, or a few days before it goes live, and say, hey, I was going to feature you, or I would like to feature you on a post. If that's cool with you, I just wanted to check because I didn't want to do something if you didn't want me to feature you. Of course, if you feature them alongside other prominent people, well, of course they're going to want to be featured. They'll be happy to have the link. And even if you can't push a lot of traffic or followers or anything, that's totally okay. Featuring them gives you a reason to reach out to them and then, again, demonstrate that you're doing something for them. And that's the key. You'll notice a lot of this stuff is doing something for the other person without asking for anything first. When you ask for something, when you come with your hands out, it's not going to go over as well, especially when so many other people are approaching prominent bloggers or even just bloggers who may not be prominent. People are just like spamming the internet trying to get links. So if you take another approach and you're nicer, it's going to pan out. And this is number 6. And it applies to getting guest posts and just living your life in general, is just be friendly. All right. It sounds silly, but again, so many people are coming out as not friendly, and they're just asking for stuff. And again, I'm actually I'm slightly disappointed in some of the pitches that I've been getting recently, specifically for Niche Site Project, where it's just some people who, they're running a company, right? They're running some for-profit company, and they're literally just, hey, can we get stuff from you for free? Be it links or whatever, networking, or for me to promote them in some way. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. We have no mutual contacts. We have no introduction at all. And if they came and approached me in a friendly way, maybe commented and read some of my content, then maybe I'd be more likely to consider working with them. But I could choose who I'm going to work with, right? And everyone can. So all that to say, be friendly and do that in your normal daily life too. Okay. So thanks everyone for checking out this video. So that's my tip, right? For promoting your Amazon affiliate site. This would work for any affiliate site or any blog that you're starting, by the way. So I've done this for Niche Site Project. I've done this for multiple different affiliate sites that I have. And as I mentioned, I have a service. I see a few more people are hopping on here. I see Saddam and Empire, Wrestling Empire on as well, and Thomas. So if you're interested in learning more about the process, there's a link in the description. If you're interested in learning more about the process, but then you decide you don't want to do it, there's also a link in the description for a guest posting service. This is a very limited basis. So if you actually follow the link, it'll say that there's a wait list and stuff. But if you're watching the video and you got all the way in this far, you can click the link. Probably want to sign up for the email wait list anyway. But you also, if you just follow the links and click any of the like move forward buttons, you'll be able to fill out the information. And if you're watching this, that's probably the only way people are going to go through it. Feel free to sign up. It's not a cheap service because this stuff takes a while. It's a lot of work and all of that. So are there any questions before I ditch out here? And if people are watching the replay, I'm sure you're going to bounce at this point. But any questions? Wrestling, Empire, Saddam, Thomas, thanks for hopping on live. I'm going to start doing more live streams. I just needed a break. Just in general, I had some family in town. My parents were in town, and I've just been, hanging out and not doing live streams, basically. So, all right. Any other questions? Any questions at all? And you know what? If people are watching the replay, I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow, Q&A stuff. So feel free to just leave questions in the description, whether it's related to guest posting or not. I'm going to try and, seed everything with some questions. All right. Wrestling Empire says, okay, this is like a random question, but that's cool. I'm glad you came on here. I found somewhere that Amazon links only work in the country that it's originated in. So you're using Genius Link now. Cool. Genius Link's great. Can I please tell you if it's a good idea to use Genius Link or just focus on one country? So it sounds like maybe you're a beginner, which is fine. So here's usually what I tell people. It's fine to use Genius Link. There's a free service free tool. It's called OneLink that Amazon has. It's fine. It works well. They just rolled it out in the last year there's many other tools that do the geo-targeting. My advice to you, it sounds like you've already implemented it. So fine. That's fine. Move forward with it, right? That's cool. What a lot of people do is, and I was fooled by this in my early days as well. Basically, people were saying, oh, you should, definitely do the international Amazon Associates programs because you'll make a lot more money. Well, it turned out I was only getting 1% of my traffic from other countries that had another program that I could work with. So I spent a few days working on implementing these geo-targeting solutions. And at the end of the day, it was worth nothing. All right. So I would say if you already have it set up, great. Work on getting traffic to your site. If you don't have it set up yet, then just wait until you get more traffic on your site. And I would wait to implement it until you're getting 100 visitors per day from a specific country that is buying a piece of content that's buying oriented, right? So if you're only getting 10 visitors from Canada each day, just an example, chances are you're probably only going to be making I don't know, maybe $20 to $80 a month from those visitors, something like that, just an estimate. So at that point, I'm thinking, hey, your time is better spent just getting more traffic, right? If you're getting 10 visitors a day from Canada, you should probably just focus on getting more visitors overall, and it'll be a better ROI, right? So that's what you got to think about. Is it a better ROI for you to spend your time getting $50 a month extra, or maybe that same amount of time would allow you to get $200 extra on the primary country that you're targeting? All right, cool. Oh, and Thomas says you got your sale, I guess your first sale last week. Awesome. Congrats, Thomas. Good job. You did all the work, of course. All right. I think the questions are slowing down, so I'm going to call it a day right here. If you're new to the channel and stuff, if you're not subscribed, we're real close to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you know someone that can subscribe, like, go tell them to subscribe. Real close. I think we're going to hit it in the next couple weeks or so. So I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams, just getting on here, yapping. Part of the reason why I was taking a break is, just going crazy, doing all these live streams. So, all right. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next time. And I got to remember to turn that light off. It's real shiny right here on my head. It looks like I got a big hole in my head there. All right. See you. I'm heading to the gym.